Okay, so now it is time to get started with Legacy of Kain Defiance, ran by Wyrmtalon. This will be any percent, so we're going to go ahead and throw it over to him.
Alright, so Legacy of Kain Defiance.
Yo!
Alright, so this game's a little interesting. We're going to start a little differently than most other runs. Time actually starts on first movement because we have an auto splitter. So it's going to be a little bit awkward. So this game is the game where the walls are optional and doors are just temporary walls. So we do almost nothing the way the developers intended. And if we're ready, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the fastest form of movement in this game is jumping, so I will be jumping as much as I can. You can do a risky jump at the beginning there to save a couple seconds, but that's the first example of a door just being optional. Alright, so this door can be a bit tricky sometimes. Okay.
Nice, very good.
Nice work.
That's a lot trickier than it may first appear because the collision is very kind of iffy around there.
Yeah. It's very easy for the camera to just turn around, making the trick almost impossible. Not quite, but almost.
So we're seeing the first bit of combat tech here. You want to explain a little bit about what you're doing here, Wyrmtalon?
Mostly, I'm just hitting things and counting their HP. There is a technique to animation cancel and hit things really quickly, but I don't do that very often.
And now we're playing as Raziel, the other main character of the series,
Yeah.
so...
Oh, missed that jump.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Legacy of Kain is really predicated on a couple of major players. The two protagonists throughout the series are Raziel, who we're playing right now, and Kain, which we played in the previous chapter. This is the final game in the current timeline of Legacy of Kain. I really hope that they would bring this franchise back for at least one more game, but for
That'd be
now
nice.
this is the end. Really, really strong game, I think. Well, I think some of the earlier games in the series are a bit rough coming back to them. I think that Defiance and Soul Reaver 2 are fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
I mean...
in this room, I'm just absorbing these souls the quickest I can to open up one of the few doors we actually use appropriately.
I feel kind of sad we're skipping all the voice clips of the old one because he has like a great voice.
Yeah, the
Tony
Elder
J.
God.
Alright.
So
This is Lua skip, one of the hardest skips in the game. Alright, halfway there. And we got it.
Nice work.
right? And there it is. Yeah, so he gets it in. There's a little bit of an iffy part at the end there because he needs to make sure he doesn't hit the trigger from the backside. But that was really, really smooth once he got on top of the platform.
So I wanted the camera to shift there to allow me to glide back across this gap and grab onto this wall.
Yeah, this is one of those games where the camera is essentially a fixed camera angle in a lot of cases, so anything to kind of get that camera to work with you really helps.
Yeah, it's actually that it triggers the wall to actually be climbable than anything else.
Yeah,
There is a faster route through here, but I can't do it, so I just did this way. And it's only slightly faster, a couple seconds.
yeah, well, the modeling is kind of dodgy at places, which allows you to do some of these climbing skips. It's by no means easy on some of them. Like, you are trying to hit a very, very specific point in space many times. And we're seeing door clips there. What's basically happening is you're doing a small amount of movement as you're going into first-person view, and when you do that, you do not have a hitbox. and you don't seem to have collision boxes with doors or other barriers like that. So that allows Wyrmtalon to get through a wide variety of doors.
Yep. And I climbed up a tower I wasn't supposed to climb up at all.
Yeah, that was that was really smooth, actually. That's kind of picky on that middle one.
Yeah. Very small angle you can actually fit through.
Who would have thought a tower you're not supposed to climb is kind of hard to climb?
Check out this strat. This one's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
If I can get it.
Come on.
So this is a bit odd because we're trying to initiate what's called sneak mode to allow us to climb.
There we go.
Yeah, and now you can see he's just kind of standing there, and he's just slowly being forced upwards over that tree.
So there are two versions of the glitch that I use to go through walls. There's the step glitch and the walking glitch. The step glitch is just a simple tap forward and move at the same time. Tap forward and go into first person at the same time, sorry. And walking glitch, you do the same thing essentially, but you start by facing right. And one of them you take a single step, the other you get to also keep moving.
Yeah, basically walk freely at that point.
Yep.
That's a tiny little optimization there to break that platform, but it prevents him from having to aim at that breakable place.
And Raziel didn't want to put the gem down.
So
He's greedy.
Wyrmtalon's going to be going for a relatively newer skip, the Light Forge skip here.
Yeah. And you might notice Raziel saying again here. This is actually the second of these temples you're supposed to go to. You know. Because that makes sense.
They might have gone a little out of order, but who really is counting?
Oh, by the way, we are currently in Chapter 4. We skipped Chapter 3 completely.
Listen, it's very hard to count in Nosgoth, okay?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
They can't even do time travel correctly.
Listen, 3 was deleted when the history got changed inside of Soul Reaver 2, okay?
Oh yeah, that's the
Sure.
one where Kain fought his great grandfather himself, or something like that.
No, it's I don't want to get rid of or get into the game story too much because this is definitely
We don't have
a game
enough
series
time
itself.
in this run to get
Yeah.
into this game story.
No, not even close.
Basically, this game does have, or this series does have time travel in it, but it actually treats it really well and does a really strong job of keeping consistency internally with itself.
But that doesn't mean it doesn't go a little crazy at times.
Yeah. So nice door clip there to get out. We also got a pretty quick Light Forge skip, which is where he flew and kind of glided through the initial wall portal.
Didn't quite make that jump.
Yeah, I jumped a bit too early there. I tried to turn around and get back to the wall, but I was a little bit slow in realizing my mistake.
So he's just going to kind of finish up the last little bit of the Light Temple. We need to be able to activate these orbs to start up the portal again.
Yeah.
We're going to see a much more abusive use of the clip in the next forge, the Dark Forge. But
Yeah.
since we hit a checkpoint inside of the forge here, we can't do anything too crazy.
The Dark Forge is going to have something crazy happen, though.
It's kind of funny just watching you hopping around everywhere like a frog.
Yeah, so that's another interesting thing. So something that we didn't touch on is jumping is the fastest form of movement, as you mentioned. But another interesting thing about jumping, so when you double tap jump, you glide. But if you triple tap jump, you gain a little bit of additional height, and that allows you to break certain kind of like scripted platforming sequences. For example, being able to triple jump and glide at that gate allowed Wyrmtalon to be able to clip through it at the end of the temple.
Alright.
That's used various places.
Excuse me, Mr. Worm. Doors are meant to be used like that one.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you use the other ones?
I didn't feel like it. I'll use this door too. Sometimes you'll notice that I swing the Reaver at the same time that I'm jumping, it might look faster. It's actually equivalent. And sometimes I just do it because I like to see the Reaver in the cutscene.
So basically swag is what you're saying.
More or less, yeah.
Hey, the Soul Reaver's a cool weapon.
Remember, in order for it to be swag, it cannot save time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because then it's just a good strat.
Okay, I think I'm done using doors for now.
Nice.
Oh, then I went the wrong way through there.
So actually getting that like very quickly can save like a second each door, but it's
Yep.
you know, a single failure can cost you, you know, a little bit of time.
And now I'm just going to break the camera, because why not?
Yeah, this is also kind of another big thing of like Raziel's side of gameplay. He's able to enter the material realm as well as the spiritual realm.
The spectral realm,
Yeah, spectral realm.
So that was actually interesting. I hadn't seen that version of the clip he did there on the door. The reason that's interesting is because of when you get in front of the door, the camera locks. So you actually can't just walk through it using the camera glitch, which is kind of cool. Sorry, I kind of cut you off there. But yeah.
Yeah, it's just this whole thing, the dynamic where like the actual environment changes, kind of warps a bit when you're in the spectral realm versus the material realm, and vice versa.
Yeah, shifting between realms is a big part of the puzzle solving in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we get to see so much of that.
Okay, not the best shadow fight, but got past it.
Yeah, shadows can be a little rough just because they're actually more aggressive than you might think. They can kind of crowd you pretty easily.
And here's the first temple.
This was clearly ancient ruin of a vampire civilization.
And
Perhaps here I would finally decipher the riddle.
I don't want to go around the long way, so I'm just going to go to this wall.
Okay, and now
Intended
we're here
route.
now.
There you go.
Yep.
So,
And now you have unlocked the Sands of Time. Wait, no, different game. Wrong. Sorry.
so Wyrmtalon, with this clip, can you kind of talk us through what makes this such a powerful
At last it was done.
kind of sequence break?
The river was forged with darkness.
Well,
As I felt this
you
new power
clipping
coursing
through
within
the
me,
wall
I
does
knew
save you
that
going
now the light
around
opened to me.
around the level a bit. It lets you do this.
Oh, you mean artwork? That is really nice. Good
Yeah.
job.
Yep, it lets you do artwork. But yeah, it makes so you don't actually unlock any of the checkpoints in the Dark Forge, so you can just save, quit, and load. And I ran into the wall there.
Yeah, basically the
And you
By
get to
save-
keep the Dark Reaver.
yeah. Saving allows you to keep the progress of obtaining the Dark Reaver, but since you haven't hit any checkpoints, you can just get out of there, and then he doesn't have to solve the puzzle to reactivate the portal. He doesn't need to reclimb the building or anything. It's
Yep.
just, it's very fast.
Can I let you
it
know?
saves about 30 seconds in a 25 minute run.
Can I let you know how much it bothers me that you're playing a 3D platformer with a keyboard and no mouse?
I mean, the mouse is here, but it's just for decoration.
Precise inputs.
Another feature of the swing jump, the Reaver jump, is that it prevents you from grabbing any ledges. So sometimes I'll use it for that purpose in order to skip a climb animation or two. And now we're going to buffer some loading by pausing.
Huh.
Saves a tiny amount of time.
Oh, yeah. The pillars.
Yep, Kain pillars.
Yeah, if only somebody responsible was to deal with them.
So this is another checkpoint abuse here.
Which I got. So, I did not activate a checkpoint. So, here. Oh,
So
Okay,
Kain just
fine.
got his message from Stay Hydrated bot, and he's gonna go ahead and take a nice little drink of water here.
missed the lake. Okay, so I died.
Oh no.
And dying puts me back here.
Alright.
But I still have that sigil collected. So everything's fine. You can tell that I have it by that little green cloud that pops up when he swings. And now we're coming up to the worst part of the run, the archers.
Oh wow, he just clipped through that gate. Did you see that?
No.
incredible.
That's actually as intended.
No. That's no
What?
way.
No. What? I'm pretty sure.
Is it intended? Is it not? We may never know. Oh, come on.
So I'm gonna let him focus on this because this is a little tricky sometimes.
Honestly, you could probably play a home game version of this while watching. It's called "Is It Intended?"
Wow. Okay. So
First
he
try.
he got kind of a rough version of that skip, but he still made it work. Like, so the rough thing there is that those archers guarding the ledge can potentially just shoot you if you grab the edge there. But he managed to get by it without incident, which is nice.
Now I'm just going to step into this pillar and turn into bats. Fly away again.
That's another place where enemy RNG is a little bit of a factor. If those guys rush you too quickly, then it can be difficult to hit bat form.
Yeah,
But,
they can punish you. The archers went really well there. I have lost up to 7 minutes to them before, so
I was just about to comment, like you basically just crushed the hardest stage in this entire game right there. Like that went really well for Kain Pillars.
It is a common practice in like 3D platformers. I noticed where if there's a bunch of archer enemies, they are the worst thing in the world. They're right up there with birds.
alright, got through there.
So funny enough,
So, camera is not working, but we don't need it, it's fine.
He is doing things. There, see? Look how much progress he's made. Good job, Cameron. Glad you can keep up.
funny enough, Raziel's method to clip through that kind of cylinder is different than Kane's. Just 'cause
Yeah.
the collision's a little different.
Yep,
Now we got probably my favorite glitch of the run.
yep. This is a fun glitch. Sometimes it causes some trouble, but...
But if we all bring our hands together, we can believe Raziel can fly.
Nice.
His wings may be ruined, but he can suck away gravity.
So the difficult part there is if he had touched the ground as he was floating, he would have had to reinitiate this. But
Yeah.
just casually walking on air, it's fine.
I was worried I wasn't going to make that jump for a second.
Who needs the power of the Wind Reaver? I mean, he seems to be doing pretty well without it.
He has embodied the Wind Reaver.
Hi, Cain.
You might say he's breaking wind.
You might. So, now we have arrived with Kain in Chapter 7. So, you might be wondering, 25-minute estimate, and we're at Chapter 7. This is about halfway through the game. So, you might be wondering, what's going to happen? What is going to get us to the end in the time we have left? And the answer is, again, doors are just optional.
Oh, wow. I actually didn't know you could step glitch through that one. I thought you had to do walk glitch. See, I'm learning. I only picked up this game a couple weeks ago for speedrunning, so it's really cool being able to catch little things here and there when you're first learning a game.
I've just learned to accept doors are not in my life anymore.
Really nice quick clips on those two.
Those clips are optional, but they're nice to do. There's a frame perfect trick here that can save about a second or two. I'm not going to attempt it because I haven't gotten it before.
It's
So
a shame.
instead, I'm just going to jump down this hallway.
It's a shame that the climbing animation is so slow for Kain.
I know, you don't realize it when you're just going through watching this run normally, but it is super slow.
Yeah. I
Alright.
wish that was like one of the first things when I started learning this game. I was like, there's got to be a way to speed it up.
I wish we could have watched that last cutscene because it is very amusing, but it's also 7 minutes long. By the way, we are in chapter 14 or 15 and fighting the final boss now.
Yo. We're here. We made it.
Raziel's in the sword. Don't ask. It's very odd.
It's complicated. We skipped a lot of story.
We're fighting this Azathoth here, basically.
I wonder what the weak point is. By the way, this is very nice artwork.
Yep. There's a boss back there, but isn't this nice artwork? Good to look at, right?
Well, the developers clearly put it there to be looked at.
Yeah. Yeah. Clearly
This
doesn't-
is like heavy metal album covers, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's probably a great album too.
Okay. Let's fight the boss some more. Let's also get our buttons right. So normally you're supposed to attack the tentacles with 2 hits to knock them down, but doing a slam attack instead makes so you get them in 1 hit. Also, there are a bunch of eyes around. So the secret to this is, as long as you don't look at his main eye, the actual projectiles don't spawn. So, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
you looked at it. Why'd you look at it?
It's basically Schrodinger's laser.
Yes.
Hurry up and finish this. I've seen this anime before. It doesn't end well.
Time.
Awesome work, dude.
Sub 21 run. Very good.
And the final time
I'm
for
happy with that.
20 minutes and 38 seconds.
Not bad.
You absolutely crushed Kain Pillars. Also, like that went really, really well. And that's, from what I've understood, that's like the hardest chapter in the game.
Yeah, that was about 20 seconds shy of PB, so not bad.
Yeah, nicely done, dude.
And yeah, just some cutscenes that are completely optional, and then we'll go to Odin Sphere, I guess.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this game. Shout outs to the entire Legacy of Kain community. If you're interested in the games, we've got a Discord that you guys can just come and hang out with us at.
More powerful than the sword that now held his soul. More acute even than
Okay,
the vision
great.
his
So
sacrifice
thank you very much,
had accorded.
Wyrmtalon, for that really interesting run.
The first
We're going to go ahead
bitter
and
taste of
continue on to the next run coming up, which is Odin Sphere, Life Rassir.
Left with you.
I'll leave that up to OC to pronounce right when he starts that run later. Which, by the way, there's going to be a character bid war for that, which is continuing. It's between 2 characters, Cornelius and Gwendolyn. So keep your eye out for that and check out the other donations incentives.